Hey, welcome back, and this Tuesday's review is going to be on Venom 2, Let There Be Carnage. Venom Let There Be Carnage stars Tom Hardy, Woody Harrelson, Michelle Williams, and Naomi Harris. And returning to the director's chair, Andy Serkis. That Andy Serkis. These two bosom buddies return Eddie Brock and his alien buddy from above, because he's from space, Venom. These two are still trying to get along, however, they do have a special bond together, and they are trying to make things work out. That's until they get a fly in the ointment, and Cletus takes a bite out of Eddie Brock's hand and gets infected by blood, which is infected with symbiote, and this is when things start taking a razzy turn. Now that Cletus, played by Woody Harrelson, is now infected with symbiote blood, he manages to escape from prison right before his execution. And all he wants to do is raise a little bit of hell, maybe some carnage, and meet up with his ex and get married. Meanwhile, Eddie and Venom are having kind of like a lover's quarrel, and things are not necessarily working out so well anymore, and they're still quite not over the breakup with actress Michelle Williams. However, while at a rave, Venom realizes he does not need Eddie Brock anymore, and he does not want to live by his rules anymore. However, despite all that, he actually ends up missing him after all. So these two decide to duke it out at the end of the movie to see who's the baddest alien of them all. My initial reaction for Venom Let There Be Carnage is it starts off a little shaky, and what I mean by that, the movie starts off with, like, in the past, we get to see Cletus, played by Woody Harrelson, we get to see him at a younger age. However, it's kind of hokey. They just get another actor that doesn't look much like him, and they just use Woody Harrelson's voice. However, the acting or the way they portrayed it in the movie, it was kind of giving me like a Batman Forever kind of vibe, where it almost seemed kind of like a little too cartoony. That kind of initially bothered me right away because I was like, oh no, I hope that doesn't set the tone for the rest of the movie. I was really looking forward to watching Woody Harrelson in this movie playing a serial killer, playing Cletus and playing Carnage. I was really in for that. I was like, ooh, we get to see Woody Harrelson play like a dark character again, kind of like what he did in Natural Born Killers. That's exactly what I was expecting, kind of hoping for. But unfortunately, he's in the movie, but it doesn't feel like we get to spend enough time with him. This movie is like a psychological bromance that just happens to be a comic book movie. The story starts spreading itself too thin, so not only do we not get enough Woody Harrelson, we barely get any of Michelle Williams' character and any character as far as Naomi Harris. And Naomi Harris is the love interest for Woody Harrelson's character in the movie, and she almost seems almost insignificant. I will say, when we do get Carnage on the camera and he starts doing some crazy stuff, it is pretty cool. There is a scene where he breaks out his girlfriend out of prison, and it's actually a very well done scene. I thought that was actually very cool. I will say, this movie is very, very short. There were times where I was like, oh, we're already at this point of the movie? Is the movie really short because of rating? Because they wanted to keep it PG-13? Because there's a lot of things as far as, people getting their heads bitten off. Obviously, the camera cuts from that. Even though I'm nitpicking at this movie, I was still pretty entertained overall. Tom Hardy was very good. Woody Harrelson was good. He just wasn't dark like I was wanting him to be. Also, the fact that it was so short made the movie very entertaining. It was almost like I was watching an episode of a Marvel movie on TV, and which made me go back to thinking like, oh, Carnage kind of feels like the villain of the week for this episode. With all the shortcomings that this movie has, the post-credits scene is awesome and worth it. Also, there's only one, so you don't need to stay to the very end of the movie. Once they show that one scene, you could just get up and go. Like I said, this movie entertained me. It wasn't very long. Tom Hardy and Woody Harrelson gave great performances. Michelle Williams and Naomi Harris gave good performances as well, but they were barely in the movie. I'm going to give Venom Let There Be Carnage a C+. Well, hopefully you like what you see here. Please don't forget to hit like and subscribe. I'm Mike the Movie Misfit, and I'll see you at the movies.
More out of life. Go out to a movie.